So, for introduction, let me explain about K1 assignment first. So, we are from K1 required to do two assignments, which the first one is we need to calculate the volume and also the mass of any building in UTM. We are also required to find solution of coastal of Sungai Kelantan. The other group from K2 are also required to do two assignments, which is the first one is they need to write an essay to improve transportation at university, which is Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. And the other assignment is they need to explore about domestic waste and source of clean water at hometown. And they also need to provide it into slide or anything that can show their research.
Okay, today I will tell you about structural engineering. Okay, for the structural engineering, I think as you all know, there is many subfield for this structural engineering, such as building, aeronautical, oil and gas, and nautical. And moreover is bridge. Okay, for the building, of course, it is most obvious for the structural engineering can help to design and construct the building, so they can standing after the scaffolding has been taken away. But building come in many form. A new home might require a structural engineering input, but so will a skyscraper, a new opera house, or football stadium. Okay, for the aeronautical, such as aircraft, satellite, and even space vessel, need to be developed. The role of the structural engineering is fundamental in the process. Okay, for the oil and gas, I think this is a career in the oil and gas industry can see a structural engineering work on a range of projects, whether it is pipeline, a rig, or a gas or oil field. Okay, for the nautical also, the passenger vessel, cargo ship, and boat are all other kind might form the bulk of the engineering done at sea. For the bridge, whether it's a footbridge over a stream, okay, a rail bridge over a gorge, a road bridge spanning an expanse of ocean. Each project will require a structural engineering to work on the design so the bridge both work with the environment.
So now I will talk about environmental engineering. So what an environmental engineer do? They use the principle of engineering, soil science, biology, and chemistry to develop solutions to environmental problems. Usually they involve in efforts to improve recycling, waste disposal, public health, and control of water and also air pollution. So what environmental engineers conduct? They conduct hazardous waste management studies in which they evaluate the significance of the hazard and advise on treating and containing it. They also design municipal of water supply and industrial wastewater treatment system and research the environmental impact of proposed construction project. So in the government, environmental engineers develop regulations to prevent mishap. Some environmental engineers study ways to minimize the effect of acid rains, global warming, automobile emissions, and ozone depletion. They also collaborate with environmental scientists, planners, hazardous waste technicians, engineers to address environmental problems and sustainability. So to conclude this, Environmental engineer is involved in solving the environmental problems that happen in any subfield of engineering.
Water resource engineer are responsible for the planning, design, operation and management of surface and groundwater system, preservation and enhancement of the natural river and watershed environment, design and construction of water control facilities, conservation of water resource. So, what is the water resource system? Water resource system is the structure of facilities that are able to treat, store and convey water to where it needed, when it needed and to the purpose for which it's needed. Water resource system can be divided into two categories. First is water control system and second is the water use system. Example of water resource system is flood control, water supply, sediment control and seed navigation. And for example for water use system is wastewater treatment system and hydropower generation.
So now, transportation and geotechnical engineering. Transportation engineering is a branch of civil engineering that involve planning, design, operation and maintenance of safe and also efficient transportation system. This system include roadways, railways, waterways and intermodal operation. The supply for the system is quite expensive because the quantity and type of infrastructure component to build the roadways, bridge and also pavement is required a lot of material that is expensive. So for the geotechnical engineering, it's a combining of geotechnique and pavement mechanic to provide solutions to infrastructure problems. They focus on the behavior of natural materials in engineered system. This active program involves fundamental and applied research using analytical, numerical and experimental method. So for the transportation and geotechnical engineering is both aims to publish high quality theoretical and applied papers on all aspects of geotechnique to build the roads, highways, railways and underground railways, airfield and waterways. So the transportation and geotechnical engineering is applied for work that to sustainable transportation and also infrastructure construction.
I will explain to you about the assignments that we have done for the subject. Basically, the first assignments that we have done for this subject is the structural engineering assignments. Okay, for these assignments, we have to choose a building in the UTM. So, we as a group, 4 people, we decide to choose a CO7 building in the UTM, and we have done a lot of things in the assignments, such as we have drawing the building and the structural layout, and we also have done the dimension for the building. We do some research in the internet to draw the dimension of this building. We also have done the calculation in these assignments, such as we have calculated the weight and the load beam, the load carried out by each beam and column. Okay. For the calculation of the weight, we calculate all of part the building, such as roof, slab, beams and column. So that's all for these assignments.
For the assignment of environmental engineering, the instruction in this assignment asks the student to select one environmental issues and produce a short video of 4 to 5 minutes range to describe the problems and solution of the environmental issue that students select. In the video, the students state the problems of the environmental issues happen, and second, the students state the bad effect of this environmental issue happen. And lastly, we also the student also state the ways to prevent these environmental issues to be more dangerous in the future. So at the end of the video, at the end of the assignment, so the student can understand more how to make environment better using our engineering solution.
This assignment is given to Group K1 that get a problem statement that state the northeast coast of Kelantan has suffered massive land loss due to coastal erosion in the past 30 years. The annual flood in the interior of Kelantan brought large volume of sediment deposit at the river mouths. So for this solution for this problem, a coastal land reclamation is proposed at the river mouths to provide new land areas in place of the eroded coastline and at the same time, a channel is to be dressed to allow access for boat into the river at all times. So, for this assignment, we need to provide a conceptual design for this proposal. Other than that, we need to sketch the layout of reclamation and navigation channel and estimate the size of land area to be reclaimed. So, this assignment is for Group K2. Then after we discuss with this Group 55, we get that assignment is discussed about issue related to geological, geotechnical and transportation engineering in tropical climate. For example, for the issue is landslide. Landslide is occurred due to geological problem and by earthquakes. The effect of the landslide are destroy animal habitat and cause of lost life. For example, at 10 November 2020, landslide that occurred at Tambo Resort caused 2 deaths. So, for the solution of the issue, we discuss about prevention of landslide. For example, is constructing retaining wall and piles. It is to give support to slope material by restraining the lateral movement of the material that can prevent soil to caving, buckling and leaning. Other than landslide, we discuss issue about the traffic congestion and flood. We discuss about cause, impact and how to prevent the issue as well.
Okay, now we in the conclusions. I think for the structural engineering and environmental engineering, I think these two of field is so different. Like for the structural engineering, is a subfield of civil engineering concerns with the strength and stability of the building, bridge, airplanes, vehicle, and other structures. So the structural engineering is work with architects and designers to calculate the systems of the support and other requirement to ensure the structural integrity of the finished product. So the structural engineering is applied knowledge of the physics, maths and many other disciplines in their work, and structural design required can vary based on geological constraint and challenge such as earthquake zone and soil type. Okay, for the environmental engineering, I think the environment engineering is apply scientific and engineering principles to evaluate if there are likely to be an adverse impacts to water quality, air quality, habitats quality, flora and fauna, agricultural capacity, traffic, ecology and noise. Okay, as example of the mitigation measure would be the creation of wetland in a nearby location to mitigate the filling in of wetlands necessary for a road development if it is not possible to recruit the road. Okay, so I think that's all for the structural engineering and environmental engineering.
All 4 assignment given. This is all about foundation of civil engineering field. This related to the structural engineering, transportation and geotechnical engineering, hydraulic engineering, and the last one is environmental engineering. Based on our discussion, we can conclude that these 4 assignments are related to each other. This aspect play an important role in engineering project. For transportation and geotechnical engineering, it is about engineering behavior in policy development, planning, design, implementation, comprehension, and management of all modes of travel and its relation with earth material. Other than that, certificate study of the properties, distribution, and circulation of water on the surface of the land, in the soil, and under land rock, and it under hydraulic and hydrology engineering. This related to the engineering work to prevent flood, to supply water for city, industry to keep wastewater, to protect beach and to manage an eroded river.